We will finalize our realistic texturing by using Roughness Map in this Blender Roughness Map tutorial. We will learn what is a roughness map and how it works, how to create a roughness map, and how to use it inside Blender. So watch till the end for all the tips. So what is a roughness map? A roughness map is a grayscale image which controls the roughness of the surface of an object. The roughness map decides which parts of the object should look rough and which parts should look smooth. Like bump map and displacement map, the roughness map also contains all range of gray shades. And these grayscale values are responsible for the amount of roughness a surface has. The pure black represents the smooth surface and pure white represents the rough surface. By looking at this example, you can understand how the grayscale values of roughness map affects the amount of roughness a surface has. The black parts of the map give smooth, shiny look to the surface, where the white parts of the map gives more rough, less shiny look to the surface. The roughness maps are really interesting maps. They are used to define the character of the surface. You can show what the condition of the object is. You can really use them creatively. But modeling this amount of roughness would be nearly impossible task, because it will require a tremendous amount of polys and render time. But the roughness map allows you to add roughness without any significant spike in render time. That's why they are efficient to use. So how to create a roughness map? I opened the same image we used in earlier tutorials, and we are gonna convert it to black and white by going into Image, Mode, Grayscale. You can see black and white shades here. And as we have learned earlier, we know that the white represents the rough surface and black represents smooth surface. But if you look closely, you can see the crevices are black and the stones are white. But usually, crevices are rough because they contain sand, dirt, and mud, etc. And the stones are smoother. So we need crevices to be white and the stones to be black. So we need to invert it. To do that, go to Image, Adjustments, Invert, or you can press Ctrl I. You can now see the crevices has become white and the stones are blackish. But we want to amplify this effect by adding contrast, and we're gonna do that again by using levels. You can go into Image, Adjustments, Levels, or you can use the other method that we will be using, and that is creating an adjustment layer. Now here's the thing, add subtle contrast and pay attention to the crevices and stones and decide how much roughness and how much softness you want. Just don't overdo it. Okay, now our roughness map is ready. Let's see how to use this inside Blender. Okay, now we are in Blender. You can see our plane is already starting to look good because of the bump mapping and displacement mapping we created in previous tutorials. But if you look closely, it is a bit too shiny. Now these stones are supposed to be shiny, but not these crevices. And also, if you look very closely to these stones, you can see we have evenly spread shininess on it. It looks a bit like the surface is covered with oil. So let's change that. I will open up the shader editor. I will split the window and select shader editor. Here is the shader setup from the previous tutorial. To reduce the shininess, lots of the beginners change the specular slider, and it's not a good thing if you are going for realism. The one you should be changing is the roughness slider. I have explained in detail why to do this in my Blender material tutorial. I'll put the link in the description, so just don't change the specular slider. And for the roughness, we will add that roughness map we just created. Let's go to Texture, Image Texture, and Open, and select this roughness map. And always change the color space to non-color data, so the Blender won't consider any color information and will produce more accurate results. And connect this to, you guessed it, roughness input. Yeah, it's looking much realistic now. If you see closely, you won't see any shininess in the crevices, and we have the variations of the shininess on these stones as well. You can see how plane looked before and after. So that's how we created this realistic surface in this realistic texturing series. Please give it a like and check out other tutorials on this channel and subscribe and turn on the bell icon for more tutorials. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.